By golly, it's amazing. It sounds like something you'd hear on the radio.
Presenting the transcription feature.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
It's 8:30 New York time. Time to wake up America and stump the expert.
From Hollywood, it's time now for Johnny Dollar.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
And now meet Dick Calmer as Boston Blackie.
It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented transcribed by the makers of Rexall drug products.
And now it's time to meet the men from the ministry.
The Armed Forces Radio and Television Service presents the Bob Hope Show with Les Brown and his band of renown. And yours truly, Bill Goodwin. And now here he is, Bob Hope.
Greetings, I'm Kevin Lauderdale. It's February, and that means Valentine's Day, or at least couples. First up, it's Life with Luigi, the adventures of a recent Italian immigrant in Chicago. Luigi has a date for Valentine's Day, and nothing could possibly go wrong. Just a couple notes. The Pump Room, where Luigi is going, was a real restaurant. It was in the Ambassador Hotel in Chicago, and that made it kind of fancy and kind of pricey. Love Happy is a 1949 Marx Brothers movie. Today it's best remembered for a 1-minute-long appearance by Marilyn Monroe in a slinky, sexy dress. It's one of her earliest appearances. The film is otherwise very forgettable. The Marshall Plan. At the end of World War II, the United States gave European countries approximately $13 billion in economic aid to help them rebuild. From February 14th, 1950, Life with Luigi. Valentine's date at the Pump Room.
The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to enjoy Life with Luigi, a new comedy show created by Cy Howard and starring that celebrated actor, Mr. J. Carroll Ash, with Alan Reed as Pasquale. You know, friends, Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum is a typically American product that appeals to people of all ages and nationalities in all parts of our country. And the Wrigley people feel that Life with Luigi is a typically American radio program. A friendly, enjoyable show that sort of symbolizes the American spirit of tolerance and goodwill. So they're glad to bring you Life with Luigi each week and have you join them in this pleasant half-hour's entertainment. And now let's read Luigi's letter as he writes about his adventures in America to his Mama Basco in Italy.
Dear Mamma Mia, today is the St. Valentine's Day in America. And to celebrate, I'm going out on a date. Date, Mamma Mia, that's mean I'm going out with a girl. One girl is a single date. Is also a double date. That's if I'm going out with a Pasquale, a fat or a rush. But no, I'm not going out with a rush. Any man who takes her out for dinner must also bring along a refrigerator. But this girl I'm taking out is called Shirley. And she's a waitress in a hamburger store a few blocks away. She's a very nice girl. And I'm thinking she likes me. Because every time she puts my hamburger on the stove, she gives it one extra pat. Anyway, I'm always want to make a date with Shirley. So I'm start to tell her about you and Uncle Pietro. And he's a goat. Also, Aunt Tarantella's a goat, and Mario the rooster, and Josephine the chicken. And then this girl, Shirley, is to say, you know, Luigi, you must have come from a very nice family. Well, that's all I'm needed, Mamma Mia. I'm no bashful. Tomorrow, Shirley and me, we're going to the movies. Oh, I felt so excited when I left the store. I left Shirley a 25-cent tip. And I think she was excited, too, because she's left me 15 cents of change. Well, it's the time for my night school class, Mamma Mia. So I'm going to finish this letter later. Oh, you beautiful dolly, you great big beautiful dolly.
That's all right, don't worry about that.
All right, class, quiet. I'll call the roll. Mr. Basco?
Present.
Mr. Howard?
Present.
Mr. Olson?
Present.
Mr. Schultz?
Why should I be different? Oh, thank you, fellow boobers. Oh, it gives me such a feeling of security to know you're going to laugh even if I'm not funny.
All right, Mr. Schultz. Now, class, today we're reviewing our grammar and we'll go over our verbs. Mr. Howard.
With pleasure. It so happens I went over my verbs last night.
Good. Then you may tell us the 4 different types of verbs.
Well, let's see. There's the transitive type.
Very good.
The intransitive. The regular or the...
The regular or the what?
Regular or mobile guess.
No. Mr. Schultz, will you tell Mr. Horowitz the answer?
Certainly not. What am I, a squealer?
Oh, come now. Verbs may be intransitive, transitive, regular, or what?
Mobile gas is no good?
No, of course not.
I don't know. It gives me 17 miles to the gallon.
Doesn't anybody know the answer?
I do, Miss Spaulding. Intransitive, transitive, regular, or irregular.
That's very good.
There he goes. Smorgasbord with brains.
Oh, please, Mr. Schultz. Now, let's get on with our lesson. Mr. Basco?
Huh?
Take the verb go. Now, give me a sentence using the past tense.
Well, we went to the movies.
No. Not we went to the movies.
Why, picture wasn't no good?
Mr. Basco, forget about the picture being good or bad.
But, Miss Spaulding, I'm not going to forget it. The pictures have got to be good.
Why?
Because I'm taking a girl to see it.
Oh.
Girl? Luigi, you got a girl?
Oh, tell us all about it, Luigi.
Yeah. Who is she, Luigi? Well, he's a girl waitress, and she's working in a hamburger store near me. For the hamburger store? Tell me, how is she built? Medium or well done? I smile, Luigi. I'm just trying to make fun.
Luigi, I know a wonderful picture playing downtown. Very nice. It's all about nature and farming. Oh, it's very educational.
Olson, that's just like you to pick out the educational picture.
What is wrong with that?
When you take out a girl to the movies, you don't try to improve your mind. You try to improve your chances. Yeah, but wait a minute, Schultz. I'm no understand you. Stop worrying about it, Luigi. Comes tomorrow, take your girl to the movies. Buy 2 tickets to the balcony. It's nice and dark, so right away you give her a kiss. Schultz, I'm gonna want to do that. Then you put your arm around her. I'm gonna want to do that. Will you hold her by the hand? No. You know something, Luigi? I think you should take her to see the educational picture.
Luigi, my friend. Hello, Luigi. Hello.
Hello, Pasquale.
Hey, what are you so happy about, the little banana nose?
Huh? Well, Pasquale, tomorrow I'm going to the movies. There's a picture with the Marx Brothers, and it's called The Lover Happy.
So you're going to be lover happy, huh, little pumpkin ahead? Now it's going to be Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and Luigi.
I think The Lover Happy is a good picture because I'm taking a girl with me.
A girl? Luigi, my own little cabbage pussy. Come here.
No, Pasquale, please, no kisses. No.
Oh, my Rosa, she's going to be so happy. Luigi, this movies are going to be on me. I'm going to pay for the 2 tickets, and beside this, I give you 2 slugs to put in the popcorn machine.
No, Pasquale, wait. I'm not taking a rush.
What?
I'm taking another girl.
Another girl? Listen to you, one great. There's only one reason I'm brought you here from Italy, to marry my daughter Rosa.
Pasquale, why can't Rosa find us some other fella here in America?
Because of her taste is a very high class, and she's happen to like imported stuff. Oh, Luigi, she's such a wonderful girl. And she can cook, she can keep a house, she can sew, she can wash, iron, and knit. What else can you ask from a Rosa?
She should have married somebody else.
Oh, I'm so mad I could have bust. All right, go. Take this girl to the movies and she'll find... movies, eh?
That's all right, Pasquale. We're going to the movies.
Luigi, I was all wrong. Like you say, you got a right to go out with other girls before I make you a choice for you.
Oh, good, Pasquale. I'm glad you see my point.
Oh, that's the one thing about me, Luigi. I may be stubborn, but when I'm get an idea in my head, it's to come right to the point.
Yeah, you're so right, Pasquale. You got the most pointy head I know.
That's a funny thing, and when I'm saying it's to come out different. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoy...
What's the matter, Pasquale?
Luigi, I just thought of something. In America, it's an unwritten law on a Valentine's Day not to take a girl to the movies.
What?
That's all right. If you do, it's a violation of the TVA.
TVA? What's that?
Technical Valentine Association. They're in charge of all the legal technicalities. But don't worry yourself, Luigi. You're allowed to take it to nightclubs.
Nightclub? But ain't that expensive?
No. Besides, you're very lucky. If you tell a nightclub you go to night school, they give you 20% off, a professional discount.
Yeah, but the food ain't that expensive?
It shows how little you know, Luigi. In the nightclubs, everything is served a la carte.
A la carte?
That's very cheap. It means the food is served in the push carts. And then if you bring along your own tablecloth, there's a no cover charge. Also, you get a ringside seats. That saves a lot of money, and you don't have to watch the fights if you don't want to.
Well, that's nice, but Pasquale, I'm gonna want it should be too cheap.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna fix you up right now. I gotta call up a place that they call the Pump Room.
Pump Room? It seems to me I'm heard it's expensive.
What a boom. How can it be expensive? It's right next to the firehouse. Luigi, you're gonna make a fine impression out of your girl. Hello, Pump Room? I'm like to reserve a table for two tomorrow night. Name, Luigi Basco. Yes, ringside. That's good. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Oh, Pasquale, you're really a friend to help me out. Who else would do such things to me? Nobody.
That's all right, nobody. Well, go, Luigi. Get a good night's sleep, so you're going to be all rested up for tomorrow.
All right, Pasquale. Thanks, and a good night.
Good night. What's so good about it? Wait till his girl starts ordering a big with the champagne and the steaks and the things. Oh. When Luigi takes a look at that check, he's to think he's going to be paying back for the whole Marshall Plan.
Before we return to Life with Luigi, I'd just like to mention the enjoyment you can get by chewing delicious Wrigley Spearmint gum. Slip a stick of Wrigley Spearmint into your mouth anytime. You'll find the lively, full-bodied, real mint flavor really refreshing, and you'll enjoy the smooth, pleasant chewing. Now let's turn to page 2 of Luigi Basco's letter to his mother in Italy.
And so, Mamma Mia, today I'm taking Shirley out to real American nightclub. I'm called her up and I told her I'm taking her out to the Pump Room. And she's sounded so surprised and happy.
Luigi, my fellow boob.
Hello, Schultz.
Well, what movie are you going to see?
No movie, Schultz. We're going to the Pump Room.
The Pump Room? You?
Sure, yeah.
No, Luigi, you can't go there. Huh? The only reason they call it the Pump Room is because you got to own an oil well to pay the check.
Yeah, but Schultz, Pasquale is telling me that TVA is unwritten law against the movies. But the nightclubs is not charging me for cover if I'm watching the fights with my own tablecloth.
Oh, that scheming Pasquale, has he got you for shimmered? Luigi, did you tell the girl about the pump room?
Yeah.
But you call her right up and tell her you're taking her back to the movies again.
But what the reason?
No reason. Tell her anything. Tell her you got virus pneumonia and you spent all your money on bromoquinine cold tablets. Make up something.
All right, Schultz, I'm a caller. Mamma mia. Schultz, is it at the telephone?
Well, then it ain't me. Answer it.
All right. Hello?
Hello, Luigi. This is Shirley.
Oh, Shirley, I was just going to call you.
Oh, mental telepathy?
No, on a telephone. Look, Shirley,
Let me tell you first. I just had to tell you I got a special evening gown for tonight.
Oh, Shirley, I want to tell you that... Oh, you got a special evening gown for tonight?
Yes. Oh, and I look just wonderful in it. What do you want to tell me, Luigi?
Oh, nothing. Just a goodbye.
Well?
Schultz, I'm not got the heart to tell Shirley to go to the movies. She's got a special evening gown for tonight. What am I going to do?
What are you going to do? What can you do? Smile! Only now that she's wearing evening clothes, you gotta wear a tuxedo.
Tuxedo?
Yeah. You see, nightclubs are very democratic. They don't want to be able to tell the customers from the waiters. Luigi, tell me this. How much money you got,
$20. Is that enough?
That ain't enough to dress like a waiter. No, wait. Into my head, an idea just pooped. I know a place where you can rent a tuxedo for just a few dollars.
Oh, that's wonderful, Schultz.
Yeah, come on, get dressed, you go right there. Then maybe you can stretch the rest of your money.
Stretch it?
Yeah, sure. When the waiter brings you the menu, just tell him you want a salami sandwich, a bottle of Pepsi Cola, and 2 glasses. Wait.
What's the matter?
Glasses might be too expensive. You better ask for 2 straws. No, don't worry, Luigi. Smile. No, you'll get the tuxedo. You'll look like $1 million. And believe me, you're going to need it when the check comes.
This is going to be terrible.
So what? Cheer up. Be like me, Luigi. Smile. Always laughing. My rheumatism is killing me.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm coming here to rent a tuxedo.
Good. You're about a size 38.
Uh-huh.
Here's one your size. You also get the starched white shirt and the bow tie with it.
Oh, so that's a tuxedo, huh? Once I saw a man in the street that he's wear a suit that just like this and his shirt is a light up and it say, "Eat at the Sam's." But this shirt don't light up, huh?
Absolutely not.
That would have cost the extra, huh?
Look, mister, I can't waste all night gabbing with you. This suit will cost you $6 for the night.
$6 for the night?
That's our regular price.
Oh, please, make a little less regular. I'm not got much money, and I promise I'm going to take a good care of the suit. I'm going to sit very light under the pants. And if the waiter is a spill of mustard from the hot dog, I'm going to clean it up for myself. Please, mister.
Well, it is kind of late in the evening, and we do have what we call an emergency charge. If you bring the suit back before midnight, the charge is half. $3.
$3? That's fine. I'm going to bring it back before midnight.
That'll be $3 plus a $2 deposit, $5.
$5.
Gotta have a deposit. As it is, it's a bargain.
All right, to hear it. That's leaving me $15.
Fine. By the way, where are you going?
The pump room. I'm taking my girl there for dinner.
On $15?
Terrible, huh?
Well, just remember, in case you have to wash dishes, roll those sleeves up first.
Oh, Luigi, I'm crazy about this place. The pump room. I never thought you'd be the type to go here.
Oh, yes, I'm the type, all right. I'm coming here all the time.
Oh, well, I do, too. All the time.
In fact, I'm getting tired of the place.
Oh, well, so am I.
You are?
Yes.
Good, let's go to the movies.
Oh, no. No, now that we're here, let's stay.
All right. Shirley, That's a beautiful dress you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. Do you like it?
Oh, sure, only
Only what?
Only I think they put on the bottom of what they forgot to put up on the top.
Silly, they come that way.
Oh, I'm not complaining.
Luigi, you look very handsome in your tuxedo.
Thank you. I got so many, I don't even like it to wear them.
Oh, it's the same with me and my gowns. I have dozens.
Me too. Dozens.
Pardon, sir. Would you like to order something to drink before dinner?
Yes, 2 glasses of water.
Well, would you care for a Manhattan?
No, I'm a happy hero with the Chicago.
Sir, joking aside, we have some excellent champagne. Mum's Cordon Rouge.
Mum's Cordon Rouge?
Yes. 1943.
1943. Mamma mia, that's almost $20.
$20, very good.
You know, I'm laughing so hard. I'm laughing so hard that now I'm not able to drink nothing.
Yes. Well, I'll leave these menus here, sir, and I'll be right back.
There's no hurry. Huh. The menu. A la carte. Whoops.
Oh, what's the matter, Luigi? You just turned white.
Well, that's from laughing. I'm lost my appetite.
Don't be silly. You must force yourself. Oh, look at the wonderful things they have. Filet mignon, stuffed duck, pheasant under glass.
I take it that with the 2 straws.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you said something else. Well, I read. Steak is $6. Lamb chop $5. Something in French, $8. More French, $8.50. I think I'm better go back into the English. Maybe I take a cup of coffee.
Yes, sir. Have you made your selection?
Well, Shirley, I'm putting myself in your hands. I mean, it's up to you.
Oh, I don't feel like eating.
What?
Oh, Shirley, order something.
Are you sure?
Of course, order something.
Well, then first bring me some tomato juice.
That's something. I'll have that too.
And then you can give me a portion. Good. That was awful good, Luigi.
Yeah. You have enough to eat, Shirley?
Oh, sure. And I never thought an egg sandwich could be that delicious.
Well, I'm glad that you like it. It's getting late. Oh, waiter. The check.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Mamma mia, $17.
Something wrong?
Oh, no. You wait here, Shirley. I'm coming right back. Hey, waiter, come here, please. I want to talk to you.
Don't tell me. I can see it coming. Can't pay?
Yeah, but please, I'm got most of the money, and when I'm return this suit, I'm gonna get to the rest. But if you want the money now, I'm gonna wash you the dishes.
One of them playboy busboys, huh? Well, look, my friend, this isn't just a restaurant. This place has got a philosophy. Today's pauper is tomorrow's millionaire. That's America.
That's right.
I've been a pauper so long, I'm due any day now.
Look, friend, I'm going to go turn in my tuxedo and bring the money right back. Only, please don't tell my girl.
Well, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, Luigi, my friend.
Pasquale.
And look who else. Rosa. Come here, Rosa.
Hey, Pasquale, Rosa, what are you doing here?
Just checking up. Just to look on you. I bet you, girl, it takes you a millionaire.
Hey, please, Pasquale, don't make trouble for me.
Hey, Rosa, don't he fool you? Wouldn't you think you looking at a millionaire?
No, Papa, he's just Luigi to me.
That's all right. They're just a bum. And his girls are going to find that out right now. I'm going to tell her.
No, wait, Pasquale.
No, don't stop me. I've been watching you all this time. That's at the table. Hey, where is she?
Where? Mamma mia. My girl, she's gone. Oh, She was so disgusted with me, she's left her without even a saying a goodbye.
Well, now maybe I should teach you a lesson, and maybe you
No, I'm gotta go. It's almost midnight.
Hey, wait, Luigi.
No, I'm gotta get the $2 back. Goodbye.
Wait, what's going on here? Rosa, why you think he's gotta be somewhere before midnight?
I don't know. Maybe he'll turn into a pumpkin.
Oh, shut up your face.
Well, you didn't have to rush that much. You still have 10 minutes.
Well, what's the use?
Suit looks fine, nice and clean, no mustard stains.
Mustard stains. If the suit is have a mustard stain, it's have more to eat than me.
Oh, looks like you didn't have much fun, did you?
Looks like it. Well, thanks for the $2. The next time...
5 to 12. I hope I made it in time.
What is this? Everybody in a rush.
Shirley.
Luigi.
You two know each other?
Know each other. We just didn't have a dinner together.
Oh, that's right.
I thought you had dozens of dresses like that.
I thought you had dozens of suits like that.
Yeah. No, please, stop. We mustn't laugh.
Why not?
It's to give me appetite. And so, Mamma Mia, it turned out it was a beautiful Valentine's Day after all. Shirley and me, we found out that we got a something, and it's one big thing in a common. No money. Anyway, after we left the clothes store, I was feeling very hungry. So we went to eat.
Well, everything we could want. A feast for a king.
Shirley, you sure is all right?
Oh, yeah. My folks are asleep. They won't hear us in the kitchen.
Is it delicious?
You know something, Luigi?
Please, Shirley, pass her the cheese.
There's something very sweet about you.
Thank you. And the mustard, too. You're sweet, too.
Thanks. You know, you got a quality a lot of girls look for in a fella.
Thank you. You got some buttermilk in the refrigerator?
Oh, I keep forgetting how hungry you are.
That's all right. I'm going to forget how late it is. Maybe I'm better go.
Yeah, maybe. And we'll pick it up some other time.
Why? I drop something?
No, we'll see each other.
Oh, sure. I'm like to very much. Good night, Shirley.
Good night, Luigi.
Good night.
Luigi, didn't you forget something?
No, I'm got everything.
You may say good night to me any way you like, Luigi.
Anyway?
Uh-huh.
Then I'm a certain Italian, a buonanotte.
Is that how they say good night in Italy?
Uh-huh.
That's how we say it in America.
You see, Mamma Mia, why I'm like America? You love the son of Luigi Basco, the little immigrant.
Folks, the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Life with Luigi. They present this program each week because they know that millions of Americans like to listen to the adventures of Luigi just as millions enjoy chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. You see, refreshing Wrigley's Spearmint is the perfect treat to enjoy between meals because it's never rich or filling, yet it satisfies your wish for something delicious and good to chew on. Keep some handy at work and in your home so that you can chew a stick whenever you want. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to listen next week at the same time when Luigi Basco writes another letter to his Mama Basco in Italy. Life with Luigi is a Cy Howard production and is written by Mac Benoff and Lou Derman and directed by Mac Benoff. J. Carroll Nash is starred as Luigi Basco with Alan Reed as Pasquale, Hans Conried as Schultz, Jody Gilbert as Rosa, Mary Shipp as Miss Spaulding, Joe Forte as Horowitz, and Ken Peters as Olson. Music is under the direction of Bud Buster. Friends, the Wrigley Company invite you to listen to their other program, The Gene Autry Show, every Saturday night over most of these stations. Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now on to Information Please. There are 2 female guest panelists and lots of questions about couples in this one. Just one odd note. Gopher wood is mentioned. The word gopher appears only once in the Bible, Genesis 6:14, story of Noah. But nobody really knows what it means. That word doesn't exist anywhere else in Hebrew. And all of the most likely definitions are based on how you assume somebody miswrote the word in the original scriptures. It seems to have the same root as the word cypress, but it could also be a corruption of pine. Both are Middle Eastern woods. It could also mean planed, as in shaped and prepared, i.e. carved wooden beams. Based on the similarity between the Hebrew letters G and K, the word could even be kopher, the Hebrew word meaning pitch. In other words, wood treated to make it waterproof. Nobody really knows. From April 5th, 1943, information please, guests Jan Struther and Cornelia Otis Skinner.
Wake up, America. Time to stump the experts. Each week at this time, the H.J. Heinz Company, makers of the famous 57 varieties, gives you Information Please. A quartet of experts is on hand to answer your questions. Send them to Information Please at 570 Lexington Avenue, New York City. We may edit them a bit, and in case of similarity, you'll have to accept our judgment of who shall be paid. If we use your question, the H.J. Heinz Company will send you $10 in war stamps, plus a set of the 12-volume Britannica Junior Encyclopedia. If we muff the question, you get $57 in war bonds and stamps, plus a 24-volume set of the regular Encyclopedia Britannica. All questions remain our property. Information Please is presented under the supervision of Dan Golenpaul. And now, our Master of Ceremonies, book reviewer of the New Yorker magazine, Clifton Fadiman.
Thank you, Mr. Brower. Ladies and gentlemen, impromptu as ever, Information Please tonight offers you a mixed quartet. John Kieran of the New York Sun and his colleague Franklin P. Adams will compete with the sharp female wits of Jan Struther, creator of Mrs. Miniver, and the celebrated actress and writer Cornelia Otis Skinner, co-author of Our Hearts Were Young and Gay. Now, this team has met in mortal combat before, about a year ago, I think, and at that time the girls topped the boys by several correct answers. We have a professional scorekeeper here this evening who is going to keep a record of the right answers made by each of these four, and we shall see which sex wins. This will be one of the few cases in which the issue is in doubt. The first question comes from Carl P. Skog of St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm going to ask you to define these words, which sound somewhat alike. Get 2 out of 3. The first word is bisque, the second word is basque, the third word is busk. Bisque, B-I-S-Q-U-E. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Struther.
Bisque is a sort of soup usually made of lobster or some fish like that.
Yes, quite right.
It's also a thing in some game, tennis, I think, might be billiards. Never mind, skip that. It's a sort of soup.
It isn't in billiards. Is it, Mr. Adams? Is the word?
Never heard of it.
I don't think so. Mr. Kieran?
It's in golf.
What does it mean in golf, Mr.
Well,
Kieran?
it's a movable handicap. You're allowed a couple of bisques, and you can take a bisque where you please. If you score a 3 on a hole and the other fellow scores a 5, you don't take any bisque there. You don't need it. But if you both get 5s and you want to win the hole, you take your bisque.
That's one game I don't have to learn. And also, it is a color. What kind of color? Miss
It's
Skinner?
the color of the soup, isn't it? Sort of.
Well, but you have to...
Depends on how you make the soup.
Soups
but
differ.
It's sort of a...
It's a pinkish
It's a terracotta kind of color.
Terracotta, reddish yellow. Is that terracotta?
Yes.
Well, I have
somewhat
reddish
terracotta.
yellow down here. We better stick
Yes,
to that.
yes, definitely.
All right, that's what bisque is. Now, what is basque? B-A-S-Q-U-E. I have 4 hands. Miss Skinner.
Well, that refers to a person or something from the northern part of Spain in the Basque Country.
Yes, quite right. Anything
and
else?
it also is a garment. You wear a basque. It's a kind of a blouse thing, or maybe it's sort of a bustle. I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, I can't tell you, Miss Skinner.
Yes, I think it's a sort of around that part of you. I think.
It isn't around that part of me. Well, it resembles a jacket with a short skirt. Isn't that what a basque... Miss Struther, you seem to have an idea on this basque stuff. Have you ever worn one, Adams?
Oh, frequently.
Well, it's a sort of a fitted waist, isn't it? Whatever that is.
I think it's a sort of stomacher with whale bones in it.
Stomacher with whale bones?
No, I think
Good
it...
heavens.
it,
I think we better go on to
bustle.
busk.
Which is what
spelled...
to do in the shade, basking in the shade.
That's spelled differently.
How about busk? B-U-S-K. Miss Struther.
It means to act.
Yes, that's an old English meaning, to go about offering entertainment. That's
On
right.
buskin.
The buskin.
That's right, but it has another meaning also, by the way, Miss Struther, and this comes back to your favorite whalebone. It's an elastic strip of metal or other material. Used to be made of whalebone when we had whales, or wood, and it's worn in the front of a corset.
Oh, that's what I was confusing it with.
Have you ever encountered one of those things, Mr. Adams?
Never.
Well, at any rate, that's what, if you ever do, it's a busk. And that gives us 3 bisque, bask, busks out of 3, and sends us on to a question from J.F. Burr of Old Lyme, Connecticut, which is a lovely town. Give 3 famous quotations about ladies or gentlemen. In other words, any poetical or prose quotation that mentions the word lady or the word gentleman, either in the singular or the plural. Miss Skinner.
Sigh no more, ladies.
Very good. That gives us 1 lady. How about Miss Struther?
Good night, ladies.
Good night, ladies. Mr. Adams?
My mother was a...
What? Oh, we ought to get... I think we ought to be a little less gallant and have a gentleman or 2 mentioned on this program, Mr. Adams.
Gentlemen, be seated.
That's an easy out. Yes, here's one that makes no sense. We are gentlemen of Japan, Mr. Adams, from one of your favorite authors.
When Adam delved and Eve spanned, who was then the gentleman?
That's a very good one, yes. How about this from Paula Warsaw of Spivak, Colorado? This is a musical question, ladies and gentlemen. We're sliding this in the absence of Mr. Levant, because it's very easy. What length of time is described in each of these songs? In other words, if you know what the songs are about, they mention a certain length of time in the course of the verse. Let's have the first. Mr. Kieran, I have 3 hands. Mr. Kieran?
3 o'clock in the morning.
Now, that is not a length of time. That is a time, a length of time mentioned in the song. If you go on to the next line, you'll get it.
Well, something the whole night through.
Yes, it's the whole night through. We've danced the whole night through.
Right.
Does that come back to you, Miss Skinner, Mr. Adams? That's right. Now, maybe I didn't make the point clear, so we'll call that correct, Mr. Kieran. Now, how about the second of these? Miss Skinner?
All the livelong day.
Yes, it's what the
I've
song.
been working on the railroad.
Very good. And now the third and last. Miss Struther, was that your handout?
Good night, sweetheart.
Yes, but that is not a length of time.
No.
Mr. Kieran?
Till we meet tomorrow.
Yes, and the length of time would be?
Well, depends on what time you get up.
Well, ordinarily from night to morning. That's quite right. That gives us 3 out of 3, and no stubs so far. Here's one from Elsie Lit Lau of Honolulu, Hawaii. And this is all about various couples who were, for one reason or another, unable to keep their dates with each other. Name the couple that were unable to keep their dates at an English inn. They were supposed to meet at an English inn, but for some reason or another, they never could quite manage it. Miss Struther?
Was it in This Above All?
No, I think they did manage it there.
Eventually.
Yes.
Wasn't there a hitch?
A hitch? I don't know whether there was a hitch or not. Eventually, as I remember, there was no hitch whatsoever.
No.
No, this is a favorite poem of Mr. Kieran's, as a matter of fact. It's the characters...
And the landlady's daughter.
Attaboy, Mr. Adams. Very good.
I know he knows that one.
The landlord's daughter.
Who were the characters, Mr. Adams?
Bess.
Yes, and?
That's as far as I ever heard.
And the highwayman, as Mr. Kieran and Miss Skinner remind us. Bess shoots herself, do you remember, to warn her approaching lover that the police are waiting to catch him. Well, I guess we have to call that sort of wrong, Mr. Adams. It's sort of a semi-answer. How about this one? This couple was unable to keep their dates at a railroad station in Paris. Yes, Miss Struther?
That was in Casablanca.
That was in Casablanca. Who were the characters involved?
Rick, I don't remember his last name.
I don't remember their names in the movie. What were their names in real life, so to speak?
Oh, Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman.
Yes, that's right. What was the story? Why were they unable to meet at the railroad
Well, it was
station?
pretty complicated. She was in love with him, and she thought her husband had died or been shot in a concentration camp, and so she made a date to go away with with Rick. And by the time the train was due to leave, she discovered that her husband was alive after all, and so she didn't go.
Anybody care to contradict Miss Struther? That seems right. How about a couple that didn't keep their date at Ninus's tomb? Ninus's tomb, Mr. Kieran?
Pyramus and Thisbe.
Where do you find these people?
You will find them in a play within a play, Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's quite right. And why were they unable to keep their date, Mr.
Well,
Kieran?
because the lion came and chased Thisbe away, whereupon Pyramus, coming late and finding signs of violence, thought that she had been eaten without ration points by the lion and killed himself.
That's right. Well, that's no worse a plot than that of Casablanca, as a matter of fact. Well, that gives us 2 out of 3 and sends us on to this one from Mrs. A.A. Pequigno of Glen Ridge, New Jersey. It's my favorite question. What article of woman's wearing apparel literally means the following? Literally means a little body. An article of woman's wearing apparel. I see no hands from the gentleman. Miss Skinner?
Wouldn't it be bodice?
No. Bodice, I think, is simply an old plural for body. Miss Struther?
Corset, I should say.
Why? What makes you
Corset.
say that?
Well, a little body.
Yes, from what word?
Well, corpse.
Corpse,
Core in French.
Core in French.
It is puzzling because it usually encompasses something which is far from a little body, but that's the general idea, yes. Of course it is right. And what article literally means neglected? Neglected. Mr. Adams.
Negligee.
And why do you suppose it's called that, Mr. Adams?
Because it's kind of careless-like.
Well, you've had luck. Yes, I suppose. Would that be the reason, Miss Skinner?
I think so.
Yes,
they neglected, too.
Well, informal, perhaps, would be a nicer word, Mr. Adams. And what article literally means encircle? To encircle. Miss Struther? Mr. Kieran?
Girdle.
Yes, girdle, sure. In case you care to know, it comes from the Middle English girdle, also from the Anglo-Saxon girdle. Hasn't changed a bit.
Girdles and boys together.
3 out of 3. And now our Heinz reporter, Ben Grauer, is going to discuss the youngest generation.
Bringing up your babies in a world at war may sometimes seem like a tremendous undertaking to you conscientious American parents. But when you stop to consider all the reliable institutions, all the trained experts who stand back of you ready to help, you can be greatly reassured. We at Heinz believe that helping you raise healthy, sturdy babies is our outstanding responsibility, our most sacred trust. That's why we go to such pains to make our baby foods uniformly reliable, why we raise our own vegetables close by our kitchens, cook and pack them scientifically to protect their flavor and color. But that's not all. We check and recheck Heinz baby foods to be sure they are highly nourishing. And during production, our scientists run laboratory tests on samples of Heinz-strained foods every 2 hours to check their vitamin content. And further checking is done at regular intervals by our expert advisors in the Mellon Institute. You see, it all pretty much adds up to one single belief of ours. Nothing is too good for your baby.
Thank you, Mr. Grauer. Now, before we go on with the show, I just want to get in a special announcement. Next week, Information Please broadcasts from Hartford, Connecticut, the 3rd stop in its bond drive. And we announce with some special excitement that our guest will be Mr. Wendell Wilkie, whose new book will be out next Thursday. So don't forget to listen in next week. And now on with the show with a question from George D. Lewis, Jr. of New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, who lived in a house made of the following materials? The first set of materials, or rather single material, was gopher wood. Who lived in a house made of gopher wood? Miss Struther.
Noah.
Yes. Anybody else?
Oh, a lot of other people and animals.
Yes, practically everybody. It was a full house.
Yeah.
Wives, sons, wives, 2 of each. Weren't there, Mr. Adams? Or don't you remember?
Yes, sir, and that's Gophir.
Is it different from our kind of gopher, which is a sort of a little...
Oh, very.
Is it, Mr. Kieran? You would know.
Sure, they have no trees named after the rodent.
It is spelled differently. What sort of wood is it? Do we have any gopher trees in this country?
Not that I know.
No. All right, how about this one? Who lived in a house made of a gourd? A house made of a gourd. Does it come to you, Mr. Kieran? Mr. Kieran is looking off into space. Space is winking back at him. Miss Struther?
It has to be a house and not a vehicle, does it?
A house, yeah. You're thinking of Cinderella?
Yeah.
That was a pumpkin.
Yes.
Keep going, gals. You're on the right track. Do I have to throw this in your faces?
Yes.
Well, it's Mrs. Peter Peter, the wife of Mr. Peter Peter, the pumpkin eater. He put her in a...
Pumpkin show.
Yes, and there he...
Kept her very well.
Yes, well, that's one wrong.
Well,
that
a pumpkin
was a gourd.
isn't the same as a gourd.
Isn't it?
No.
Why not?
Well, because they're different vegetable, aren't they? Or
No, I don't
whatever
think
they
so.
are.
Mr. Kieran, you better get me out of this
What
one.
is it?
Well, it belongs to the... falls in that general category, although we make some distinctions. Not scientific.
We don't make any distinction on this program. No, sir.
They don't look alike.
I think it is a gourd, Miss Skinner.
All right.
Belongs to the... Is it the Cucurbitaceae family?
Yes.
Mr. Kieran?
Yep.
How about this? Who lived in a house made of bread, cake, and sugar? Lovely notion. Miss Skinner?
The old witch in Hansel and Gretel.
Quite right. That gives us 3 out of 3. Here's one from Irma Hall of Santa Cruz, California. And this, again, is a non-Levant musical question. What is the rank of the singer of each of these songs? His rank is what we're interested in getting. Let's have the first. Thank you. Miss Skinner.
Tenor.
Oh, that is not a rank, although it sometimes is.
I thought, what do you mean a rank? Oh, I know. Oh, well, he's a... Well, all right. He's a count. In Rigoletto.
Yes,
He's the...
Is he a count?
He's a very high up...
Oh, he's bigger than a count. Keep going. Just keep going up. What do you get above
Prince.
counts?
A count?
No. Princes come dime a dozen. Mr. Kieran?
King.
Duke. Yeah,
Duke.
Dukes are the real thing, Miss Skinner. That's right. The Duke in Rigoletto. But it almost seems to me you have to count that wrong. It's Duke or nothing. Thank you for coming in, but coming in late, Mr. Kieran. And now the second.
I left my heart at the stage door canteen.
Miss Skinner, would you like to retrieve yourself?
Yes, that's a private.
It is a private, yes. And I left my heart at the stage door canteen. Very good. And now the third and last.
To thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens.
I have 2 hands. Mr. Adams?
That is a captain.
Yes, captain where?
Captain Corcoran and HMS Pinafore, but he wasn't a captain when the play was over.
What was he when the play was over?
He was Rafe Rackstraw.
Demoted? And what were you going to say, Miss Skinner?
I was going to say it was the captain.
I knew you were going to say that, Miss Skinner, all along.
He was a captain when he sang.
That's right.
He was also a baritone, I think.
And now here's one from Ruth W. Keith of northeastern Massachusetts. This is a very easy question. Identify the source of these quotations and tell what each describes. And each of these quotations has the word fit, F-I-T, in it. The first is fit for the gods. Tell me what it's from and what it describes, Mr. Kieran.
It is from Julius Caesar.
That's right.
Let's not carve him as a carcass fit for hounds, but as a dish fit for the gods.
Yes, whom are they going to carve up, Mr. Kieran?
Caesar.
Caesar.
Brutus is telling Cassius how the butchering should be done.
Yes, how to carve him, that's right. Now the second fit is fit as a fiddle. Fit as a fiddle. Miss Struther.
Fit as a fiddle and ready for love.
Yes, that's right. And who it's about the person known as I suppose, in the song. How about 200% fit? 200% fit. Oh, we should all know that, Miss Struther.
Winston Churchill said it.
To whom?
To one of his generals. I'm sorry, I don't remember which. The general said, I don't drink and I don't smoke and I'm 100% fit. And Churchill said, I do drink and I do smoke and I'm 200% fit.
Yes. The general was General Montgomery, the great hero of North Africa. Well, that gives us 3 fits. 3 fits. Matter of fact, well, isn't
Fit
fit
the first.
Isn't fit an old word for stanza, Mr. Adams, or
Yes,
something
sir.
in a poem? Part of a poem?
Usually F-Y-T-T-E.
F-Y-T-T, fitty. Yes, well, that gives us 3 fitties, and send us on to this one from Harry Stern in New York City. Whose career passed through these stages? Correspondent, prisoner, prime minister. Who is that, Mr. Kieran?
Winston Churchill.
Yes, can you tell us
He
a
was
little more?
correspondent in the Boer War, I believe. And what's the next
A
one?
prisoner.
Oh, he was captured out there.
Yes, and made a miraculous escape,
Yes,
didn't he?
and there's a rumor that he's still prime minister.
It's more than a rumor. How about this one? Military student, prisoner, generalissimo. Apparently being a prisoner is a sine qua non. Mr. Adams?
That was probably the generalissimo of China.
Yes, name in your best Chinese, Mr. Adams. Oh, give us
Check.
the worst. Mr. Kieran?
Chiang Kai-shek.
Chiang Kai-shek. He was a military student in his early days. And when was he a prisoner? Mr. Adams, do you remember?
He was
Mr.
a
Kieran?
prisoner when he was captured and held to see. It was sort of political deal. They wanted to
That's
see
right.
what answer he would give under certain stress, and
That's right.
he stood out.
That's right.
And they turned him loose and joined up with him. as a matter
Yes,
of
it was
fact.
a sort of a non-violent kidnapping.
Yes.
It took place at a place called Sian, I think, S-I-A-N. Here's another career, in brief. Student at a seminary, prisoner, which does seem a shame, and field marshal. Who is that?
Student at a seminary?
Student at a seminary, a religious seminary, prisoner, and field marshal. Miss Struther?
Well, I think it was Rommel.
Rommel? Was
Yes.
he ever a student at a seminary?
I don't know, it's just a guess.
He's been badly trained, if he was. No, it isn't Rommel. And Rommel, I regret to say, has never been a prisoner, at least not in this war. Who, Mr. Kieran?
How about Giraud?
No. No, the answer is Stalin. Stalin, at one time, was a student. At a religious seminary, he studied to become a priest. He was, of course, a prisoner, like many of the Bolsheviks, and then he is now, among his other titles, field marshal. That gives us 2 out of 3. Now, our Heinz reporter has a word or two about cookery, that art, that noble science. If you please, Ben Grauer.
Paying a lot of attention to a host of little details has always been a must with Heinz chefs. They've always taken great pains to make sure that the perfect amount of seasoning goes into a tasty sauce or a pudding, that a soup gets the proper degree of simmering and stirring to make it just right. Perhaps that's one reason why so many people have looked to Heinz since 1869 for the tempting dishes that make a meal an adventure and good eating. Of course, there are not as many of the 57 varieties available today. We've been doing a lot of cooking and canning so that the boys in the Army and Navy will have home-flavored food. But you can be sure every 57 labeled can or bottle you find on your grocer's shelf is a mighty tasty food delight with all the old-fashioned home-style flavor you like. War has made food rationing necessary, but you can depend on it. We'll do our utmost to see that Heinz flavor will never be rationed.
Thank you, Mr. Grauer. I think you ladies and gentlemen are doing remarkably well. We have no stumps so far. Let's see whether we can trip you up from this time on. Here's one from Miss Kay Morrison of Vineland, Ontario, Canada. According to the poems, what was the marital status of the ladies who lived in the following places? The marital status of the lady who lived in the by street. Mr. Kieran.
She was a widow, like John Masefield.
Yes. And what's the title of the poem?
The widow in By Street.
Widow in the By Street, yes. What was the marital status of the lady who lived in Bath? Mr. Adams?
She was a wife.
She was a wife, yes. Where do you find this wife?
In Chaucer.
In Chaucer. Chaucer's poem called?
The Wife of Bath.
The Wife of Bath, yes. Had she been married before we hear of her in Chaucer's tale of the Wife of Bath?
She had.
How many times?
I forget, but many.
5. And where had she left her 5 husbands, does Mr. Chaucer say? Husbands at church-a-door, she had a 5. Presumably she had left them in the cemetery. Well, that would be what you're saying,
Yes,
Kieran?
they buried them in the churches in those old days.
What was the marital status of the lady who lived in Astolat? Miss Struther.
She was a lily maid.
Yes. Where do you find her?
Tennyson.
In Tennyson, yes, an odd address. Elaine, the Lily Maid of Astolat, from Launcelot and Elaine, Tennyson's famous poem. That gives us 3 ladies. How about this one from Mrs. F.J. Miller of Spokane, Washington? This, again, is a literary question, and this is all about famous courtships. Who courted the older sister, but married the younger? Courted the older, but married the younger. It's in a very famous book that I think all of us have read. Miss Struther?
It's in The Old Wives' Tale by Arnold Bennett, I think, but...
You have me there. I've read it, but don't remember it. I don't think that's true. I think there were 2 sisters...
I think it is, but I don't know the names of the people.
Well, you may be right. If so, we'll receive our apologies in the mail. Are there any... Mr. Adams, do you have a guess on that?
No.
It's Laurie, the character in Little Women, who courted Joe, remember, for many years, but later married Amy. Did you ever read it, Mr. Adams?
No, sir.
Haven't you any child's literature at all, Mr. Adams?
Yes, but not girls' literature.
How about this one? Who courted the younger sister and married the older? Courted the younger and married the older. See, it's the reverse of the first case. It is not to be found in Little Women. Mr. Kieran? Miss Struther?
Well, perhaps that was The Old Wives' Tale.
Are you going to continue on this line that it takes all evening? No, I don't think so. It's in the Bible. Remember Jacob?
He didn't do it intentionally.
I didn't say that he did.
He had the older sister palmed off on him, and he had to work another 7 years to get the younger sister.
That's true, but he did court the younger one and marry the older, who was Leah, nevertheless. Later on, he got Rachel back, didn't he?
After 7 more years
After
later.
7 more years. Well, listen, what's the sense of being indignant about it this late day?
That was a drop in the bucket for those boys, anyway.
Got 2 wrong on this one. How about this one? Here is a character who courted the girl, but married the mother. Courted the girl, but married the mother. Miss Struther? No, it is not in the Old Wives' Tale. I never known Arnold Bennett get more plugs.
Henry Esmond, isn't it?
Henry Esmond is right, yes. Very good, Miss Skinner. Henry Esmond, he courted Beatrix, but married Rachel. Well, I think that sends $57 in war bonds and stamps to Mrs. Miller and a set of the Encyclopedia Britannica, courtesy of the H.J. Heinz Company. Here's a question from Mary V. Robbins of Cleveland. Who was responsible for the separation of these lovers? I think this is a rather hard one. Who is responsible for the separation of Alfredo and Camille? Of course, you have to know who Alfredo and Camille are, Mr. Kieran.
Why, the father was the one who was responsible for it, because he went down to that little town outside Paris where Alfredo and Camille were living, and he persuaded Camille to abandon Alfred.
Yes, whose father was he? The father of which of them?
It was Alfredo's father.
Oh, you didn't say that.
Adamo Camelia.
Yes.
Or Camille, as
Her
we
name
know.
wasn't Camille.
By Dumas Fils.
Her name was Marguerite.
Marguerite Gautier, yes.
Her name wasn't Camille.
But
Her
that's
name
the
wasn't
story.
Camille?
La Dame Camelia.
Yeah.
Yes, but
She
don't
wore
think...
camellias, but her name was Marguerite.
No, but the opera is called Camille.
If I had another half hour, we could straighten this out.
No, the opera
Well,
is called...
I can give you the first 6 chapters if you want.
Don't fight, ladies and gentlemen. The answer, at any rate, is right, as Mr. Kieran reminds us. It was Alfredo's father. And how about this one? Who is responsible
But,
for...
excuse me, please.
All right.
In the book, it's Armand. It is not Alfredo. Yeah. In the play or the opera, whatever it is, it's Alfredo.
Maybe we better just tear this question up.
Maybe it was just 2 other guys.
Yeah, I think it was, yes. Just a couple of other guys. How about this one? Who separated Kathy Earnshaw and Edgar Linton? Who separated Kathy Earnshaw and Edgar Linton, Miss Struther?
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff is right. How about this one? Who separated Frankie and Johnny? Mr. Adams?
Well, supposed to be somebody named Nellie Bly.
You mean you don't believe that rumor?
I'm doubtful about it. But
well, in the song about
Nellie
Frankie,
Bly.
it was a girl named Nellie Bly. That's quite right. Well, that gives us 2 out of 3. Now let's see. The score is. Let's see. Miss Skinner and Miss Struther got 15 right. Mr. Kieran and Mr. Adams only got 13 right. Licked again, boys. The H.J. Heinz Company tonight has paid out just $57 in war bonds and stamps, and that means 1 set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Miss Struther and Miss Skinner, our best thanks for your visit this evening. Now, next week, as I've already remarked, Information Please will continue its bond drive. You may remember that we've already stopped at Boston and Philadelphia. But next week we're going to broadcast from the Bushnell Memorial Hall in Hartford, Connecticut. Our 3 regulars will be on hand: John Kieran, Franklin P. Adams, and Oscar Levant. And our guest will be Mr. Wendell Wilkie, whose new book, One World, will be out on Thursday. Remember, listeners, to send your questions and the correct answers. Don't forget to send the answers. Some of you do forget. Send them to information, please, at 570 Lexington Avenue, New York City.
That's your old-time radio fix for this week. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Be sure to subscribe to The Chronic Rift on iTunes or visit us frequently at chronicrift.com.
What a voice. What a voice. Simply means ink. A dink-a-doo. A dink-a-dee. Good night, folks. Signing off.
Chicago will be as the pump room ambassador east, to say the least, on shish kebab and breast of squab we will see and get free.